Hey, everybody. How is everybody tonight? I am excited to see you. And please let me know if you can hear and see me. Okay? Make sure and let me know. I should have good sound. If I don't, I need to know. Hear and see. I can hear myself, so I know I'm okay. I usually have a little test. I run the other screen. So I've got it turned off so I don't have double sound. Everybody? Awesome. Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay, no problem. I noticed that I'm having a little struggle getting in and out of the demo account for some reason tonight. So I am actually going to play a previous video on just the part where I'm sharing the back office. And I want to make sure it works, of course. So I'm going to add my screen and go get that. Okay. I honor those of you that came on time or early. And we'll let me know if you can hear this. The very first thing I'm going to actually do is let me know if give that you a full shows, tour okay? Of the back office and where everything is. And make sure if you have any questions that you put them in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. If for some reason your question gets lost in the chat because it's very busy, please go ahead and copy it and put it in again because it's very, very important. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get on the job. So we're actually backup is right here. I got it open. And as you can see, the very first thing I come up with is the screen that you get when you first log in. This is our welcome screen. You might notice there's a big video here. It's kind of obvious. Make sure and watch it. It really does help you. And I want you to also notice, as I scroll down here, there's 3 buttons on this front page, which makes it super easy for you to get around. You really don't have to know a whole lot more than what's right here in these 3 tabs right here. But I'm going to go ahead and open these and then show you where they are on the side screen as well. So I'm going to open this one first. This is our Back dashboard. And this is where you go when you want to get started the first time, especially. You might notice that this is where your download links are. Now I want you to also notice these big orange buttons. These take you to the videos for getting started. Now I used to actually walk you through that process, but I have to tell you, I've watched these videos and they're excellent and they really do a better job of explaining how to get started than I do because I get sidetracked sometimes. So I really want you to watch these videos. Please don't push aside and think you know it all because it's very important. Now, one thing it doesn't say, but it is important, is sometimes a virus protection or something of those sorts can get in the way of a good download and install. So make sure that you turn those off temporarily so that you'll get a really good install. And you might notice also that on this side where it says Windows, it also has the Google Android Play button for your phone. So if you're in your phone and you need to get the Google for your Android, that's going to take you right to the store so you can get it downloaded into your store. And then again, please watch the videos. How to get started with your Google Android is actually in this list. Okay? Now, if you happen to be a Mac user, obviously you're going to download the Mac side, and it has its own set of videos for that as well. Now, you might be like me, and I have Windows, but I also have iPhone. So if you have an iPhone, and you want to get started with your Got Backup in iPhone, then you will go over here and watch the video over here, and you'll download it from over here for your phone. So that makes it pretty simple.
Oh,
It's not difficult.
hang on just a minute. Okay. Let's go here and let's that'll be a better choice. Okay, let's go back to play.
And I will come back to your questions after I do this demo. Then I want you to notice there's another button called the promotion tools. This is where you'll find your affiliate links, okay? And one thing they've recently added, which is really cool, is they have where you can copy your promo link right here. You can create a tracking link right here, and you can view the statistics right here. In other words, you don't have to hunt around. They're right here underneath each of these pages, making it super easy to get started. Now, this is the actual link right here. Of course, this is a demo. This is not a real account. That's important because we don't want to expose anybody's personal emails or other personal information. And we'll get into more details about this page in a few minutes. Then I want you to notice that the third button is the comp page, explaining how our compensation works. And there's two videos on this page, as well as a PDF for each of these, explaining how it works. The first one is how the first level of your compensation plan works. And the second one talks about the binary, which everybody loves to hear about. So if you really want to understand how the binary works, don't ask me tonight. Go back here and watch this video. I'm going to hold you responsible for taking the time to watch these videos because they're very important to your success. So I'm going to come back here. I have mine open because I have a reason to share that. But now you'll notice we're right here. And because this is just the Got Backup, the only tool that's actually here is the Got Backup. But to look at it, you simply click the link right here under the digital tools. Unless it says something else, but generally it'll say tools or assets or something of that order. And it's the first tab right underneath the welcome tab. And to use the tool, we're going to end up actually going to the same place I showed you a few minutes ago, and that is dashboard. Now you might also notice while we're at it in here that there's a few extra things on this page. One of them is, I don't want to show that in case it gets me in trouble, you can actually create a second account, and you would do that simply by adding it right here. Make sure it has its own unique password and username and email for that individual that you make it for. Of course, fill it out. I don't think I have to explain this. This is pretty easy. And then you also notice that there's an auto login. This takes you actually to your personal cloud of your files, okay? And so if you go right here, you'll see that it'll take you to the cloud. Of course, again, this is a demo account, not a real account. But there's a few things in here on purpose just to show people how it works. Now, one thing that makes our company particularly unique and fun is that you have full editing possibilities with your actual cloud files. You can actually delete or add right in here, just the same as you would in your computer on your Explorer window. For instance, if I click this button, I can make a new folder, a new text file, a new document, which looks a lot like a Word document, a new spreadsheet, which looks a lot like an Excel spreadsheet, a new presentation, which looks a lot like a Microsoft presentation, and a whiteboard. I've never used a whiteboard, but I've used all the other things on here. And it was really handy. For instance, I've got some videos that are all uploaded in my files, and I might want to actually make a clean place for them. And I don't know why it does this, but whenever you change your mind, it creates a blank README file. I'll have to ask why that happens, but anyway, that's okay. And then you can create a folder. I'm going to do one just so you can see how easy it is. You can actually make your own cloud files. Now, why is this important? Maybe you don't want your files to be staying on your hard drive. You just want them up here in the cloud so they're safe. So I'm going to just do a folder called pictures, and I'll put a few pictures in here just to show you how it works, okay? So you click that, and then you go ahead and you go down and find them. And I'm just going to put a few things in there that I have right here. This is actually my download folder, but that doesn't matter. But I want to show you that actually there's videos and pictures in here, but that's okay. And then as quick as you put them in, you can take them out. Like this is a temporary file, so maybe I don't want that. You can simply take them out. And this is a video. And that makes this pretty cool that you can do this. Okay, so next thing on our list is I want you to notice that there is an actual lead capture system, and this is actually where you can communicate with your own leads and anybody that might have gotten into your business through your links. Okay? And so I'm going to show you that in a minute. But first, let's go over to the reseller tools. That is going to take you, again, to the same place that you saw me go a few minutes ago. This is where all of our affiliate stuff is. There's pages, and this is how you can actually copy. You can copy this link. You can create a new link. This is where that is. And this is important. So if you actually want your people that are now getting on your list to come to these webinars, which are very powerful for bringing people to you, because when they see that they not only have you as their support, but they also have the whole company and even Joel that comes twice a week into a webinar and shows you that he cares about you personally, you can actually copy this link and send it by email. And that's very important to know. Then, of course, you've got banners. We'll go ahead and look at those. I'm going to click out of some of this stuff so that we don't have too many things up.
You might have seen videos like this before, but here's the big secret. Anyone can make one of these videos in a few minutes. You might think you need a professional animator or to learn some fancy editing program, but that's...
Sorry about that.
And then we have advertising ad copy. And what's cool about this is you can actually copy this and make an email and not ever have to know how to do any of it. Of course, I recommend you learn how to create an email, but if I wanted to, I could actually copy this. Now I'm going to click over here to this, right here, and open this up so you can see. We can now actually create a campaign email, and we can send it to our list. Now, there's nobody in here yet, but I want you to know how to do this because this is important, okay? So we're going to actually create a new email, and you would do that by going into the send broadcast. And then make sure and add these two lists over. Make sure you create an actual title. I always forget to put a title in here. And then it reminds me. But this is demo, so I'm just going to write demo. And this is, we actually have some little newsletter templates. And you can actually use one of these templates. So you don't even have to know how to do this part, which is really cool. So I'm going to actually click that one and look at what happened. It created an email. But this is, of course, not what you want to put in there. So let's just actually paste what I just copied. You saw me copy all of that. Now it's in here. So now we have an email. It's already set up with your link. Although there's a few little things you might want to fix. First of all, this is not the correct picture, right? You're going to want to put a correct picture in there. And so the way you do that, make sure it's clicked, and then insert or edit picture. And then go find that picture, which happens to be right here. Make sure that it is smaller than 600 pixels. 200 to 300 is about right. And if you actually type in 300 on one side and then tab over, it will resize the picture to the right side. So now let's go look and see what happens. Okay, that's the wrong picture, but that's okay. I wanted you to see how that works, because this doesn't matter if it's the correct picture. But if you get the wrong picture in there, it's pretty easy to fix it. You simply go back in here and upload another picture, which I think is this one. Yep. And again, I don't want it to be that big. So I'm going to change it the size. Yep, there's my picture, which I did earlier. I want you to notice one more thing that you do want to fix, and that is right here. These are actual intended to be pictures that are also links. Now, you don't need to have anything more than Facebook, really. So I'm going to go over and grab my personal Facebook profile. And that's up here when you click yourself. Oops. That might have to be in the right place. All right, here we are. So now we just have this picture. Again, notice I'm clicking it so it's highlighted first. Now if I come up here and I click the chain, it will actually make that picture become clickable, okay? And you'd probably want to put in there a title. And say okay. Now that is now going to be clickable with my profile, and I made a couple of changes, didn't I? I put myself in here, and then you notice also it says your name, so you don't want it to say your name. You want it to say you. So I'm sure you can do a little bit of editing here so that this is your email and not the company email. And by simply doing a few little quick changes, you now have an email ready to go to your list. So let's go ahead and save it. You come clear down here to the bottom and you click this blue button. And you'll notice we get a green button that comes up. It was successfully added. And that's where it ends up, is right here. Of course, I have not actually put it in the real queue because we don't have any leads here. But the next step is to actually put it in the queue. And once it's in the queue, it will get sent to your leads. I recommend you do this at least 3 to 5 times a week. I do it 6 times a week. I take Sunday off for my family, for my worship, but I do send out an email every other day but that day. So that's what I suggest you do as well. Okay? And then you notice also there is pre-enrollee ad copy. And you click on that one, it actually lets you email this, and you can actually go and it will actually show up in that same window where it was before for sent, and it already has everything in place. Again, there's a few things you'll want to change. Make sure you have your own personal stuff in here so that that person sees that information, okay? This is already preset to put your personal information in here. And again, there are some icons on the bottom. So if you want that person to have your contact information, you need to fix it. So now I've taken you through that process. That's it on that part. And that tells you that it's pretty doggone simple. If you have some leads and you want to look at them, you would do it by going to this list right here. And when I click on this list, of course, again, there's no email, no actual emails in here, but you have two lists that you can actually look at. Enrolled means that they have become somebody that might start paying. And this is how you also get a hold of their emails so that you can tell them that you're interested in finding out about them and what they're up to, okay? And then, of course, there's only one tab left, and that is the business tab. This is where you go to find out about your commissions right here.
A CRM shouldn't
Oh,
set your
no.
teams back. It should revolutionize the.
And of course, this is a demo account, so it does not have any information in it. And there is one more tab under here that's important for you to know about. And that's the one called My Downline. And this is where you will see your personal people that are in your power line. And on Thursday morning early, they get moved over into your tank. You won't see the tank any other time, but when they are in right here on Thursday morning. So right now, we don't have anybody in our power line or tank because this is not a real account, but that is where everything is. So I'm going to actually show you one more thing before I close down and come back to see how we're doing and if there's questions to answer. And that is, I've got mine open tonight, and the reason why I do is because I had a great big crash. I had a problem with OneDrive, and because of that, I had to I had to completely start from scratch from when, like it is when you first buy a computer and there's nothing on it. I started from scratch, just like that. And the beauty of doing that was that everything was already in my uploads. And so I didn't lose one single little tiny thing, and that was really important to me. And I want you to know I got a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. I have 1.3 terabytes of stuff in here right now, and I have more to put in there, but I don't need to put a lot more, but I have a little bit to put in there. And that's one of the things that I think is beautiful about this. And I saved one of my new things to show you, just so you can see how to create a new sync folder. Now I've already set up where I want it to go ahead of time. So I'm going to add a new sync. I'm actually going to change this letter to F. And I'm doing that because I don't want it to go in C. Then I'm going to choose my new folder, which is a picture folder. And it's in my F drive, which is an external. And I'm going to set up one for my pictures. I'm going to select that folder and go to the next. And then this lets you actually put it where you want it to go on your virtual drive. So I want this to actually come in here to my today files, which I set up earlier in the day, and I want it to come to this folder right here. So I'm going to say next and add. And in a few seconds, that's actually going to add a new sync that is not set up yet. And so it needs to actually start working on it. And so I'm going to actually give this a few seconds so that it will show up, because I think it's important for you to see it really does work exactly the way they say it does. Sometimes I like to do them manually, and sometimes I like to do them virtually. And this is an actual virtual setup, and it has not done it yet. So now I'm going to go ahead and come back
Oh, yes, it
to
did.
my thing here, and let me see. Do we have any questions while I was?
Okay. I know that was kind of weird. I did that on purpose. So how are we doing? Did you hear that, and did that help you? And I'm looking to see if there's questions to answer. Don't see any yet. I'm going to actually record a good quality video in time for next week, because I think that actually saves a little bit of time, and it actually does a better job than sometimes I get distracted when I do the tour each time. And I want to make sure that you are getting the best possible presentation. Is there any questions that you have that you would like me to answer that I didn't answer during that presentation? Because if you didn't quite catch it in the presentation, you can always go back and watch it again. Okay, here's a good question. If people start in August, do they get paid in September? Joy, it actually depends on who gets started with you. You get paid basically on people that are actually part of your team, and if they pay. Okay, so say you get 3 people that start this month, then in 30 days you get paid for those 3 people that started the month before, because we have a 30-day guarantee, and so we get paid 30 days behind. Once that happens, based on when that person started, you can get to a point where you get paid every week, which most of us are in that place now. So I hope that makes sense. And yes, Joy, I want to make sure that the presentation is real clean. And so I'm going to do a better one. But I was having trouble getting into the demo account for some reason. I'll have to ask Joel if there's a change that he made or something. But if he did, then I'll just have to get the new password. But that's what I want to do anyway. I think it goes a little smoother if I do it that way. And I won't have myself double or tripled, okay? I know that that looked really weird. I'm sorry about that. But please let me know. Yes, I can do a good video, and that's how I'll make sure and fix it. I'll probably just take it out of one of them. I can use that same one I showed you. I just simply have to get it uploaded into, we use StreamYard. If I get it uploaded into StreamYard, it'll be a better presentation. And that's how I'll handle it from here on, okay? And is there any questions that I need to answer for anybody? I did get one but there's usually more than that. So make sure and put your questions in the chat so I can take care of you, because the whole point, of course, of coming on Monday night, there's another company that's very keen on that. Monday night is always their get started night. And then everything else is different kinds of stuff after that. But we want to make sure that you are completely understand exactly what it takes to get started. We've made this just about as simple as you can get. It's really a matter of use it. One of the things that I hear people say, and it really is the truth. First of all, get started yourself, right? We showed you how to do that in the presentation. Get started. Make sure you've got it down. Your own, your own backup is working. You have two choices. You can do a sync file like I showed in the video, or you can do manual uploads. Now, I'll have to tell you, I have been involved with so many different backup systems because I've always believed it was a good thing. But many of them do not give you the editing ability that we have in this program. So I really think that makes it really cool, okay? For customers only, do we normally send the video that has the business explained or just send them the link? I would go ahead and send them the link that shows the whole program. They can start out as a customer. That doesn't mean they won't see the point in actually sharing it, because we make this super easy for everybody, even if you've never done any kind of a business before. How many of you go to a really cool movie and immediately go tell everybody else around you about it? Don't you do that? Don't you share something that's valuable to you or you found it useful in some way with everybody? It's not because they're a business person that you share it. It's because you thought it was of value. And that is exactly what I would recommend you think about with Got Backup, is that it is of value. People are, yes, there is a link for customers only, but do you really want to get them to just stay as a customer only? And do they want to be able to share it with their family and friends? Because the customer only is 1T. Make sure you understand the customer only is not the 6T. The customer only is 1T. So if they want the value of the 6T, then they would get the full link, which is also an affiliate program. So make sure you understand the difference. The other one is just 1T. Check and see, because it is. Okay, good questions though. Absolutely good questions. Love those. Okay, Joy, I love you too. I love it personally, but I have lots of contacts who have been in those things before. You know what? Let me tell you something. You don't have to ask them if they want to be in a business. I think you're thinking about it in a different way. Ask them if they have ever lost valuable stuff that they don't want to lose, like pictures and videos. Because Joel tells a story, and I think it's worth repeating right here. Joel tells a story that he had a laptop and an external, and this was years and years ago before it got backup. He went on a trip on a cruise, and it was a business trip. And the porter, or whoever the person, they always ask you, can you just give me your bag? I'll put it in your room for you. And of course, that's usually perfectly fine to do that. But this particular person actually stole his laptop and his whole bag. So absolutely, he lost his pictures of his kids from 0 to I think 6 years. That's a tremendously valuable piece of information that you don't want to lose. I think you can upgrade to a regular subscription as a reseller, but I don't know absolutely for sure. Okay. And probably what has to happen is that person has to go through support to do that. Okay. So why not make it simple for them? Give them the link for the reseller link. They don't have to resell if they don't want to, but they get the 6T, right? The 6T is the huge value that makes this so much better than many of the other programs out there. For instance, I found out that I think it's Dropbox went up in price, and they only give you 2T. They don't give you 6T. And I think they went up to something like $30 or $40 a month if you want that. And we have it where it's under $10. Well, I went to McDonald's. I don't go to McDonald's much at all, but just last week I went to McDonald's because I was in a hurry to buy something quick because I was hungry and I was away from home, so I couldn't just, eat something at home. So what happened is I paid $10 for really junk food. So think about it that way. Junk food or saving all of your really good stuff that's important to you. Yeah, I agree. That moment of panic when your phone drops and you lose all of the contacts and pictures. Yeah, I understand that. Yes, this is a good point too, John. Dropbox is only one device. I actually, in my account right now, let's see, I have laptop, uh, and I have an actual tower, which is what I'm broadcasting from tonight, and I have an iPhone. All three of those devices are on my one account that I'm paying just one time $9.95 a month. Who can compete with that kind of value? I don't know of anybody that can. Okay, any other questions that you have? Because I think I'm preaching to the choir. Most of you really understand the value of this program. Anything that you need me to ask, answer, please let me know so that I can take care of you. I want to make sure you feel extremely comfortable with this program because I'm telling you, I don't know of any other place. I've had, I can't name all the names, but I've had pretty much everything you can imagine. I don't like Dropbox. I haven't had Dropbox. I tried it a few times. I think it's difficult. I think it's extremely difficult to use. And remember, we also have the ability to share files inside of our program, both folders or individual files. And this is the major thing I'm trying to say. Customers get 6T for one time $9.95, multiple devices. And you can also share accounts with anyone, or you can keep it all for yourself. I have not at this point shared it with anybody because I wanted to see how much space I needed for myself because that's the primary thing I want. And yeah, John is pointing out Dropbox is only for you. You cannot add any members of any other family members. And it doesn't matter if they live in your household or if they live clear across the country or if they live in another country, they can still have an account in there. Now, in my case, my son Leonard is in the same household, but I sold him actually a backup account because I knew he had a lot of stuff and I didn't want to share space with somebody that would probably need a lot of space. So you have to make a decision. Which one is better? If you've got somebody that mainly has their iPhone or their Android, and they need to just make sure that's backed up and they don't have a lot of stuff going on their computer, then it's probably great to share some of your space with them. It depends on how much space you need, But you just have to make a decision based on that. Any other questions that you can think of? I don't know what lead capture page you're talking about because mine doesn't say that. Mine talks about Got Backup. So make sure you're talking about the right page. And I want to make sure also, where is it? That you know how to get started if you're brand new. I know we get a lot of new people in here. And if you want to get started today, here's where that is. Okay. Is Payoneer what most people are using in the US and internationally? We're mostly using Payoneer because they have a really good relationship. It pays really conveniently and very helpfully, but there are some countries it's not in. Wherever it's not in, you either use Wise or you contact our support and tell them that you can't make that work. But for the most of us, we would really like you to use the Payoneer if it's the account that works with you. I know it doesn't work in Canada. Yeah, so exactly, Ed. I have just started to really use. Can you think for a minute about the things that you can cancel because you don't need them? You don't need Dropbox. Cancel that one so it saves you some money. You don't need Microsoft Office. Hello, that's a lot of money. I think they charge you at least $100 a year for that account. You don't need Microsoft Office anymore. You can actually use our program with the spreadsheets. They look exactly like Microsoft Office, but they don't cost you extra. If you actually check that out, you are actually getting far more than $10 a month value. So any other questions that you have, please let me know. I think you misunderstand. That is the whole company. That is not necessarily people that are just in your own um, program, but pre-enrollees that start in the whole program are not your personal pre-enrollees, okay? You can tell where your pre-enrollees are because they're going to be showing up in your back office, okay? Under the list I showed you before, that's where they're going to be. And of course, Michael, it also depends on how busy your own upline is. Now, my upline takes care of one leg pretty much on its own, and I take care of my own leg, and I get paid on the binary every month, or I do. And of course, the commissions for direct referrals as well. Make sure that you're actually offering it to people right now because you get paid so really well for that. And Russ is right. The value we get from Got Backup is totally amazing. And I don't know of any company that can even come close to shining a light on it. They're out in the dark somewhere compared to what we have here. Okay. Any other questions that you need answered, please let me know. Michael, as far as how our program works, please go back to our my business and look under how you get paid so that you can make sure and understand the whole program. It's very important to understand the whole program, how you get paid, what it takes, because the binary is not guaranteed, okay? The binary happens based on what's happening in your upline above you and what you're doing, okay? It's really based on that. So any other questions, please let me know. looks like we're doing pretty good. Not too many people are worried about this and understanding. It's really simple, guys. Get started yourself. Find out where your share link is, share it with people, and you get paid. Yeah, this is a good point. They're in the whole company power line. When you first start out as a unpaid member, you're going to see the whole company pay line. But after you're a paid member, you're going to only see the pay line that happens under you based on your own activity. And that's really where your power line is your own activity. If you're sitting around waiting for someone else to do all the work and you're not doing it, you're not going to get paid. And that's true of any company. So, I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. Okay, if my upline puts someone in my left leg, can my upline also put someone in my right leg? They absolutely can put the people in your right leg and your left leg, whichever one they're working. My upline has done that, but they're not required to do that. So make sure you understand that there's a certain leg that you're going to see growing, and that's probably the one that your upline is working with. And then there's going to be another leg that you need to put more attention into. And so you can just check that out. Start watching which one is actually going. And then keep them kind of on the even side, both left and right. When you get somebody new, there is a place at the very bottom that shows the statistics on it's actually where the downline, it says downline under business, okay? And that's actually where all the activity happens. That's where you'll see your holding tank. That's where you'll see your power line. And that's also where your statistics will show up. If you see one leg that's really heavy and one leg that doesn't have any action, then put something in that other leg that doesn't have any action so that you will get a binary check. If one leg is too heavy and the other leg has no action, then you won't get paid anything, okay? So you need to have some action on both sides. Usually one is going to be heavier than the other, but that's okay. And this is actually true too. Ed is pointing out that a couple of hardworking people on your Got Back It family can run away from you. In other words, they can start creating your check. But don't sit around waiting for that to happen, okay? Okay, this is important. So you've got one side that's really, really heavy. You don't need to add to the side that's 2,200, but also make sure you know which one on the far left will show you the ones that are actually active. And if it's still real heavy on that right side or left side, then start adding to the side that's not heavy, okay? That's how you go about doing it. And I've been doing this for 3 years. I get binary checks every month. And that happens because I watch which leg is getting the action. And if the leg and in my case, it's my right leg, but it might be your left leg. So you just need to see which leg is actually where your upline is working, and then make sure you're working that other leg, okay? That should make a lot of sense. I hope you understand. So is there any other questions? These are good questions. These are more detailed for people that have obviously gotten started and understand a little bit about the program. Any other questions? Getting close to an hour. Okay. Check out videos from Jerry Schroeder. He is on Thursdays, and he talks about Facebook advertising free, actually. I don't do a lot of paid advertising. And so I'm not the one to answer that question, but Jerry on Thursday teaches how to correctly start using Facebook for free. And I would recommend you actually watch that because you can get some good ideas, okay? Okay, any more questions? That was a good question. I want to make sure you're really comfortable and you understand. And if you're brand new, you get started. And this is where you get started if you're not a paid member at this point, okay? Otherwise, how are we doing on understanding the program? It's really easy. I think this is about the easiest thing I've ever done. And I've done quite a few things in my life, business-wise, over the years. Thank you, Russ. I appreciate that. Any other questions that might, I want to make sure that especially any of you that are brand new, that you really are comfortable and understand the program because that's my job. I mean, the rest of the week is different subjects. Joel does a good presentation as well, and he explains things really well. But I want you to know that, of course, it's recognition and understanding the company is more about his focus. So, what, if any, are your questions? If you haven't gotten it answered, last call, let me know. But if we're all in pretty good shape, everybody's happy, they understand what to do, then we will close down for the night. I will come back with a clean video for next week. And I think that's how I'm going to handle it from here because I really think interaction with all of you is the major thing everybody is really excited about. Thank you, John. Yes, and that is what we are all about. In your back office, make sure you understand you do have a share link that ties anybody that you invite to this program. We have them kind of set up to help people come here and get started, but yet if they buy, it still goes back to you. You get the credit, okay? Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Okay? Anybody else got a question or a comment they need clarification of any kind? Let me know. I think everybody's in pretty good shape from the looks of things. So I will say that we're probably okay to say that we're good. Yeah, looks like we are. So I hope you guys have an awesome evening, the rest of the evening. Then for me, I have a lot of evening ahead because this is still early for me. But we'll come back. We'll be here again on Monday every week. You can count on that like clockwork. And you guys have an awesome evening. And I'll talk with you again next Monday. Bye.